Java has a special function or method that we can use to set the width and the precision of numbers that we display when we're printing them out, and that's the printf function. So let's take a look at an example. Here we have a final variable pi, and we've set it to 3.14159.263. If we want to display pi to only, let's say, 4 decimal places, we can use the printf function to achieve that. Here's how we do it. Printf will be used with system.out, but instead of print or print line, we're going to use printf. The way it works is we provide a format string that tells the compiler how to format the number. In this case, what we want to do is we're going to tell it that we want to format the number as a floating point number with 4 decimal places after the decimal point. So we start out with the %. That says that we have a formatting string coming, followed by the 0.4 to say 4 decimal places after the decimal point, and then F to signify it's a floating point number. Then we close the string and put a comma, and then we put the variable pi after the comma. That tells the compiler to replace the format string %.4f with the value that's stored in the variable. So let's take a look at how that's going to display. We'll save it, then we compile and run, and so we see it displays 3.1416, so 4 decimal places. We can set this number to whatever we wanted to set it to, 4, 2, 6, 10, and then it would just put zeros after the last 3 of our value of pi. The second thing we can do with the printf function is specify a width or a field width to display the number in. Notice that when we looked at the number previously, let me pull the DOS window back up, the 3 begins 1 space after the equal sign, just like we expected to, looking at the format string, well, the whole string altogether. If we want to put some space between the equal sign and the value, all we have to do is specify a field width. So let's try one. Let's put this to 5 decimal places, and let's say that we want the width to be 10. So we put the 10 before the decimal place, then the 5 saying we want 5 decimal places after the decimal point, and then the F, of course, for floating point. Let's save it. And let's recompile, and then run it again. There's the run right there. Okay, so you see what it did. Field width of 10 means that the whole number, including the decimal places, will fit into that width. Let's change it to something a little more extravagant. Let's try 20, just so you can see how that field width works. So we'll compile, then we'll run there. And if you count it out from the first space after the equal sign through to the last 9, then you'd see that was fitting into 20. So using the printf function, we can specify a field width and the precision of a number. A lot of times all you'll see is the precision itself, or sometimes all you'll see would be the field width by itself. Let's print that out to see what it does. Notice that the default is 6, which is actually less than the whole number, but that's the default value because we didn't specify. Let's go back and look at the format string. We didn't specify the number of digits, so it defaulted to 6. We could have said 0.1. And again, I'm doing this just to demonstrate the differences in the format strings. And then we could have taken out the field width altogether. Let's change that to 2. It's for demonstration purposes. So that's how you use the printf function to specify precision and field widths. To be perfectly honest, printf is a holdover from the C++ language, and I may have mentioned before that Java was designed a lot around C++, but most Java programmers don't use printf unless they're printing out lots of rows and columns of numbers where the specification for a format is very important. Normally, except for maybe the number of decimal places, which there's other ways to control, printf is not used all that much. That finishes the output portion of this chapter. Now we're going to move into input, and we're going to learn how to get input from the user using a special class called the scanner class.